right, family, let's talk about why you're not making money in Driveaway. If you don't know what Driveaway is, simply put, you're just a transportation driver that's driving a vehicle from one place to another, usually a manufacturer to a dealer or a dealer to a customer, hub to hub, or some variance of that, okay? And a lot of people come into this industry and they don't last, and they talk about it and complain about it, but I try to keep it short and get to the point. But my perspective on why a lot of people are not making money in this industry is because they come into it with an employee mindset, meaning that you're in this industry, majority of people are independent contractors. Essentially, you're a small business. There are pros and cons to both of those, and depend on what you want to do. Now, I will say that there are places that you can go actually work and be a Driveaway driver, and they actually pay for everything. You're an employee. You get, some of them have good benefits. Only thing is you're going to be traveling across the United States, and you don't have a say so about where you're going majority of the time. So you're going to be out at least probably 3 weeks or something like that at a time. So that may be for some people. Now, the majority of this industry, we're independent contractors, and the type of people, in my opinion, that this job, or excuse me, this contract or lifestyle or whatever is for, is people that are looking to, maybe you have a business, maybe you have a transportation business, and you want to come and utilize Driveaway as a way to get some money flowing inside of your transportation business with your EIN, build your business credit, things like that. Or maybe you're just somebody who likes the flexibility of not having a boss on your back every day, and you can pick up and go when you want to. Maybe you don't have a family that you have to worry about being home with as much. Maybe you're retired and you just want something to do. A lot of these places, you have to take one run every 30 days, or some companies one run every 60 days, and you can do this part-time and make a decent amount of money. You may see something going to Miami, and you say, you know what, I'm really much just going to drive to Miami, and this money that I'm taking this truck is going to be my vacation money. So there's some flexibility in this. But the reason people aren't making money essentially is because they're more than likely coming from an employee mindset, or they're just not good at planning or have a good grasp or understanding of what this industry is. So as I say, as an independent contractor, you're responsible for all your expenses. Sometimes the places will give you incentives for stuff, towards a hotel, you get a fuel surcharge. Some places it'll cover the fuel, some places it won't. So you have to get a feel for it. You just have to understand what your bottom line is. All right, you may be somebody who wants to make $200 a day, or 50 cents a mile take home, 60 cents a mile take home, 70 cents a mile take home, and you have to make sure that type of situation works for you. So the reason you're not making money by planning, I know it's kind of long-winded because it's an array of areas that can cause you to lose money, but essentially accepting loads going to the middle of nowhere, and you don't have no way to get out of there, that's not good. Essentially, you want to book loads that you're going somewhere that you're picking up something not too far from that drop. So if you're going from Los Angeles to Phoenix, you want something coming out of Phoenix, all right? Or you want to be able to get a rental car and drive 2 or 3 hours, or you have your own tow car where you're driving back to Los Angeles to get another one, or maybe you fly Frontier and you're flying from Phoenix. See, these are the different variations. But what I'm saying is you have to be able to plan from trip A, trip B, trip C. You want to connect the dots on those. You have to make that make sense. If you're going somewhere and to the Timbuktu or Kalamazoo, Michigan, and you don't know how to get out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, okay, and you missed the Amtrak or something, you know what I'm saying, coming out of Kalamazoo, now it's on you, and you might spend the money you just made trying to get out of there. So that's why most people lose money. Another reason is lodging, where you going to stay, okay? Some people don't want to stay. You don't want to stay in a Motel 6 or a Super 8 or something like that, or you're in a day cab. There's no room to sleep in the truck. Maybe you have a family member that works at a popular hotel and they can get you the family discount or whatever. So now instead of paying $150 a night, maybe you're paying $70 a night at a hotel, and you got to factor this kind of stuff in. All right. Sometimes you're driving a sleeper, you can sleep in the back. You know, if you're driving a day cab like this, and you know, you might want to take a nap. Look, I tell you this: if you're 250 pounds or less, you know, you can get a hammock and sleep in, you know, take a nap in the day cab. You know what I'm saying? Take a nap. You saying whatever. But look up video. You'll see a video on there where you tie a knot on each end and stick it in the door jamb, and then you can stretch out across the cab. All right. So that's a hint right there. But essentially, you have to know how to plan to make money. This is for people who are business minded, who are savvy, and whatnot. So you have to know your bottom line. If you're taking a load, you know, you have to know how much you want to take home per mile and do those calculations. It's as simple as that. If you want me to make video, you know, breaking down, or you got questions about something specifically in this industry or anything else, you know, let me know. Share, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But essentially, the main reason you're not making money in Driveaway because you're probably not a good planner. You're probably coming into this industry with something similar or adjacent to an employee type mindset, or maybe you're desperate and you're just taking everything because you need to make some money. But that's the last thing that you need to do, because your dispatchers are just trying to get the loads off the books. It's not their responsibility how you gonna get the hell up out of there. Okay, so keep all of that in mind before you get into this industry. There are ways to make money, but you know that there are people that work for less. In any industry, and over here where we at on this land, there's people that work for less, and you have to be willing to stand up for yourself and not work for less. And if it's just something that you can't, is unfathomable for, this industry may not be for you, okay? Because I contract with places that people talk dog crap about, but I have made good money with, and I know how to utilize them with the companies that I have. I've had some poor experiences as far as like being new and not knowing some things, but once you get a flow, you know, things get easy. But anyway, share, like, subscribe, and drop down in the comments if you have questions about this industry or anything else. I'll see y'all soon.